Alright guys, Darcy here again, and so this is the third video in the series of going through an entire mix process with a client. This is including actually the meetings with the client and going over and listening to what's been created and how they like it, as well as actually showing you the mix itself. So I'm going to jump into the computer here. And what we have here is the first pass at the mix. We have all the instrumentation that you saw before in the previous video with some alterations. We also have the vocals in and processing done on that. So first up, let's play the track, listen to it, and then go over some of the things that have changed.
My flow's sicker than R. Kelly. Better believe I've been bar heavy. I'm not the type of guy that you would call deadly, cause you can't call shit when you're gone already. And my verses hit like a verses with Mike Tyson, when he's in his prime and pissed like a pissed off actor. I can flip the scripts like a goddamn rat to catch get worth a diss. Hot damn boy, call me Santa with the raps. Everybody being bad, put some cold up in the sack. I remember back when I was rapping in the coldest sack, and the neighbors got chills cause I was the coldest act. I'ma drop it like I couldn't keep it up, even though I keep it up like I'm a victim in the slums. You can witness how I'm doing when I'm feeling in my gutter. When my heart starts burning, I ain't trying to flip it tums. Quick though, kids go, you rapping too much. I ain't even trying to rap it, just my vocab's tough. This bro gets no chance to give it up. I've been spazzing in my sleep, so when I'm napping it's a bump. Get so big though, rapping scared to battle like I've been official. Coming up and asking if I listen to the disc, bro. No, I ain't even tracking, brother. You ain't on my map, you ain't even on my status, brother. Robbing underground, hopping where the heat's kept. Please mess with me, I can help you get degree depth. Thinking you can test with me, you should take a deep breath. We can put the effort at the S, should you eat, bitch? Ooh, I really need to chill now. I've been rising higher than a mouth full of pills now. Percocet, tell me how you feel now. This my prime, but I who you wanna grill now. Dropped an album, Corona came in. Sorry man, I guess I'm too sick. I talked to Sheffer, Australia caught flame. Sorry mates, we wasn't trying to do this. Why was I gone for the last 4 months? I was trying to turn it down, I've been way too ruthless. I went way too hard, I did way too much, and sorry for 2020. Hold up. Catch you talking to robot soldiers. Rappers hit me up for features, but on God, I Holy Ghost you. Got more bars than Motorola. Your whole squad be Quasimodo. From the weight you barely carry, I'm so strong I'm throwing boulders. I think I might try to find a real nice dime. We'll look at the pint size, spitting like my rhymes. We thought that I might die, like hitting got 9 lives. I spit it with a bit, don't be get to go try mine. You think I'm a nice guy, bitch is a nice try. Heart broke 9 times, can't go fine. Bars like sci-fi, out of all die fly. Maybe that's why I got mind of an Einstein.
Alright, so that's fire. So let's go over some of the things that have changed in this, okay? So first off, let's take a look at the music in this track. And actually, I'm going to quickly just put something together here to make this easier for myself. So I'm going to grab all the, just these main tracks. I'm just going to grab all these main tracks. I'm going to put them to a bus. Main. Yep, okay, cool. And this is just going to be music. Reason I'm doing this is because I just want to solo it by itself and not have to go through and mute everything else. So, all right, let's go back into the track. All right, so there's really only like 2 things that were added to the music that weren't in the previous video. So one of them is I took the outro piece where we do the slow down, and I brought it into this area just because the beat started to feel repetitive, and I felt like you needed to change up when we're going through the customer's notes. One of the things was to try to make something interesting here. So it was actually just to make something interesting for like the first bar, but then I got the idea to make the whole section go this way. So essentially what we're going to do is just show you there's like a change up in terms of the halftime slowed down version of the melody with some processing on it. And then there's also this sound effect, which is just a riser swishing in to like emphasize the coming back to the other part of the beat and just to make it bigger. So all right, so how do we do the halftime piece? Basically, we're just making it the sounds first getting narrowed, then we're adding some saturation to it. The real big piece of what you really care about is that the fact that we're running halftime here, quarter note 2 times slower, and that gives you that slow vibe. The really cool thing being this particular put reverb directly on the track, but with certain sounds and instruments you want that because you actually want if you put reverb on a bus, you essentially have sound that will sound like you have your main sound up front and the reverb sound will sound behind unless you make it like matching and level, but naturally you'll sound more behind. When you put the reverb on, it'll change the actual volume because you essentially have one half which is a dry signal and the other half which is the wet signal, and as you turn up the wet, it's bringing down the dry, and it's kind of like balancing the two together. It just has a slightly different effect in terms of what it does. So with something like this, it's appropriate to put it directly on the track. Okay, so then we have those are really all the changes. We do the swish one more time over here. So bring back the music track. Just something to like bring you in. I'll bring it earlier. Simple things. And that was just because when I wanted to cut the beat there, it felt good, but it felt like it was missing something, so we brought the switch back again just to make it bigger. Actually, I think originally I put the riser or the swish sound on this area first, and then I had moved it to the other one. So then we have the vocals, okay? So a couple things to note. Super important thing to do with your vocals all the time, always, is to actually comp or edit them. So you'll see here plenty of spots here where I cut out sounds in between and put small fades. This is because there were breath noises that weren't needed, a click of the mouth that wasn't needed, things like that, right? As well, in the latter part, even here, there was actually an issue with a sound that I actually replaced it with actual like silence from another part. So it had that natural, like not true silence, but like to extend it, because I think with this, I also needed to move out the spacing of the phrases just so that it lined up with the grid a little bit better. Sometimes, the artist is just, a little fast, a little slow. And so I wanted to like fix that by just moving it. To that point again, the last few like bars of the track here, we had a similar issue, and I actually physically moved this till I got it into a better timing of the track. I don't know, did I put warp on this stuff? No, I didn't do any warping. Tend to do that with dubs where you literally go in, grab specific phrases and like drag them around, but I did not do that with this. So yeah, really I just had to adjust this to get the timing just to be a little bit better. And these last couple bars, again, I more minor adjustments to get that timing just a little better. Artists do their best to get the best performance. Sometimes you just gotta take it that extra little step and just to get things to sound a little bit better. Other than that, it's I had gone into some of these areas here. I didn't actually like bring new silence in. I just came in and brought the volume down. So like this one is -6, and I literally went over a breath and grabbed it. And if you bring this to like -6, you'll see there's like an actual noticeable breath there. So I literally just went in and grabbed the breath, brought it down. That way, his doesn't really come through that much. But it's not as bad as if it's being completely silent. Here's a point to bring up. Why would I decide in this space to bring the breath down compared to this over here where I cut them out? The reason being is I have it on one of my sends. I have an echo, and I want that echo to come off of between the phrases. In this one, I don't want that. I didn't use, or actually no, I did use it a bit there, but sometimes you'll actually have this determination between you want to be dead so you can add echo, or you can add suspense with the silence, and sometimes you want the natural feeling of how the rapper is rapping or how the singer is singing, where you hear a bit of their breath, you hear a bit of their imperfections, but the imperfections a little bit too loud. So you literally just go grab the region, drag the volume down, and now it's still there. You still get that human feel, but it's not like up in your face and bothering you, whereas sometimes it's distracting and you just get rid of it altogether. So I mentioned it to have these sends. So let's make these bigger for a second. Here, I'm going to grab all of these ones and make just these ones bigger. And I made them too big. Okay, so what I've done here let me show the configuration of this. So you grab the vocal track, right? And we go to the sends, and you'll notice, if I'm gonna make these smaller so it's easier to see on the screen, make them all. I basically have sent the entire the signal all at 100% volume to the wide, pitched down, pitched up, echo channels, and then the P-comp. This is for parallel compression. I won't go over that right now. You can hit a lot of YouTube videos on that. But these here essentially are individual effect tracks, or I'm calling them dub vocals, that are these tracks, and I send them to this bus, and then I'm going to process them a little bit differently. But essentially what each one of these are different effects. So for instance, the wide vocal, I'm making it slightly darker with a slight formant shift, and then making it wide, so it's a little bit different than the main vocal. And it's wider than the main vocal. I have this one, which is actually pitching it down, so literally what you're thinking, the darker, deeper voice that goes underneath. I have one that's a pitching up, that's a little tuned a little differently. There's obviously EQ on these, we don't need to go over that. And then the echo one is literally a delay, quarter note, pretty straightforward stuff, just kind of echoing. And I'm also doing two more things. I'm making it narrow, so it's wide to begin with, but I'm making it more narrow. The Echo Boy Junior has a wide setting, but you can't configure how wide it is. So if I like Echo Boy and I'm good with, or Echo Boy Junior, I'm good with it, then I'll use an imager to control how wide it is. If I don't feel like using the full-blown Echo Boy, sometimes I don't. So I'm also putting a lot of reverb on the echoes just to give it also a more further back feeling. So that's how I've sent the sound from the main vocal track into all of these buses, and I'm sending them at 100% signal. There's obviously a problem. If I send them at 100% signal, then you would hear them all the time. We don't want that. So what we do here is we automate mutes. We mute the track all the time, and then we unmute it on specific phrases. This allows for a lot of really good fast workflow. So what this allows us for is I can go into this, adjust all my settings, adjust my volume specifically, adjust that fader up and down, get that feel, and these mutes are just saying when to hear it. If I were to automate this with volume, then if I say, oh, it's too loud, then I gotta go grab all my automations, bring them up, bring them down. It's annoying. So with this, with the muting, once I've unmuted the area, I'm never gonna wanna like change the mute. Mute's a Boolean value, being it's true or false, or 0 or 1. And it's only on or off, like it's on, off, that's it. So once you've set that in, the only key to getting this right is bring this vocal track up, is finding the exact part in the beginning and the end of the phrase you want to hit on, and to make sure it's not clipping and popping because it's like cutting off in the middle of a phrase or the beginning of a word, like just at the wrong time. But after you get that, then you can treat this track like any other track. Process it how you want, work with your volumes, work with your pans. You can do whatever you want normally, and you're only going to hear it. It's processing the entire time, but you're only going to hear it when you want to mute it. So that's essentially what's happening with all of these. So if I were to play, say, just the vocals, it's like an all Vox track, you'll hear like how they're just coming in.
Gone already, get my verses hit like a verses with Mike Tyson. When he's in his prime and pissed like a pissed off actor, I can flip the scripts like a goddamn rat to Kasha get worth the diss. Hot damn boy, call me Santa with the raps. Everybody
right? And if we want to hear them all individually, what they're doing, they'll sound much weaker.
Verses hit with piss like a
Actually, I'll put all the dub vocals on so I can go through them. That's like the wide one. Then we can go into like the pitch down one.
piss.
Hot damn boy, call me Santa with the raps.
Right, and that doesn't even sound super impressive. But when you put back the main vocal to go with it,
Chicken worth the diss. Hot damn boy, call me Santa with the raps. Everybody
it just sounds better. It's about the blending of the two, not how much the one sounds like on its own. So that's like the general idea of what we've done with this track. It's a fairly simple track in the sense it's a straightforward rap track, single vocal. It's just about getting the editing right, getting the processing to good, and then figuring out how to bring extra life to the track depending on what that artist wants. This artist wants to have fun with it, to make it more energetic, to keep it going, wants that like token logic kind of vibe in terms of like the processing. So that's what we're going for, and that's it for this video in terms of what was done on the track. What's up next is that I'm going to actually sit down with the artist, go over the mix with them, and then have them actually give me the feedback they want, what we need to change, and then try to work that in. So anyways, peace y'all. I'm out.